Hi, and welcome to this week's video blog on Some Assembly Required. I'm Sarah Hammerker, and I'm glad you joined me today. I want to talk about giving ourselves grace in our bad parenting moments. Now, we've all had them. Those moments where we didn't do the thing that we thought we should do. We missed the cue. We dropped the ball. And sometimes our children get hurt. Sometimes our children have a negative impact because of what we did. I'm going to give you some examples and then talk about how we can give ourselves grace to do better next time, and that it doesn't make us bad parents. Bad moments don't make us bad parents. Just like when our children misbehave, do bad things, doesn't make them bad children. It just means in that one moment of time they didn't make the right choice. And sometimes these are choices in our parenting moments. These are choices that we made. Sometimes it's out of our control completely. And how do we kind of recover from that and move on from that? So I'm going to give you some examples. One from my own childhood and a couple from my own parenting. When I was in kindergarten, my mother had a split a paper route with my dad, so we did part of it. I would walk around with her, and I remember I was feeling so tired, and my mom was like, "Come on, come on, keep up, stop dragging your feet." But I was just so tired. And I kept running a fever, and she kept taking me to the doctor, and turned out when she finally took me to a different doctor after a couple weeks of this, cajoling me along the paper route, "You shouldn't be tired, come on, come on, come on, keep up." I had mononucleosis, that virus that makes you super tired and gives you a fever on and off and just makes you kind of achy. And it takes you weeks to recover. I missed like 3 or 4 weeks of kindergarten because of this. And so for my mom, I mean, that was one kind of a bad parenting moment, right? Your kid was sick and you kept saying, "You're not sick, come on, walk faster, you can do it." I thought about this, I tease her about it sometime because it was kind of a funny thing that I really was sick, and she was like, "No, you're not, come on, walk faster, there's nothing wrong with you, keep going." So my own kind of similar parenting moments. One of them was with my youngest, and he was a toddler, 3, maybe 2 or 3, probably 2, because I was cramming those little white shoes on that have the little, like, they're like little boots, white boots that all toddlers wear. He was complaining. I'm cramming his foot in there, but once I got his shoes on, he was fine and he didn't complain. But he always complained about his shoes. Well, I take him to the shoe store. It turns out he was complaining because those shoes were 1, 2, 3 sizes too small. Yes, 3 sizes too small, which is a huge difference for kids. So that was one of my bad parenting moments. I dropped all my kids when they were babies. I'm just going to admit it. Was an accident. They were fine, but that's a bad parenting moment. Nobody wants to talk about it. And then my most recent one was when my son, this is last week, when I'm making this video here, came in crying that his wrist hurt. He had fallen on it. He swore he heard a crack when it did. Well, he could wiggle out his fingers. It wasn't swelling up. So I said, well, we'll just wait and see. Didn't sleep well that night. The next day, no swelling, could still wiggle his fingers. Said it ached a little bit. I just figured he bruised it. No, by 2 days later, my husband and I was like, okay, probably got to take him to the doctor. Took him to the ER because, of course, it's Saturday and nothing else is open. Yeah, he has a wrist fracture, broke his wrist. Bad parenting moment. I made him go 2 days without having anything on it. Got his cast today. He's happy as a clam that he has a cast. Kind of cool, he broke his arm. Bad parenting moment. Now, I could feel really bad about this. I mean, I did feel a little bit bad, but he wasn't in a lot of pain. I made a judgment call. I called the wrong thing. I probably should have taken him to the doctor on Friday, and we could have been maybe a little further along on this thing. But I didn't. I could have checked my child's feet. They were too big. Measured them against the shoe. I didn't. Bad parenting moment. We all make them. And sometimes we make a call and it's not the right one. And that's okay because we're parents and we're human and we make mistakes. But what do we do when we make a mistake as a parent? There are a couple of reactions. One, we can be paralyzed about and so afraid of making the wrong mistake that we never make any decisions. and we really vacillate, and we just spend way too much time and energy and angst about it because we're so terrified of making the wrong decision that we can hardly make any decision at all. And two, we can beat ourselves up after the fact. We can be too hard on ourselves and not realize that not every decision we make is going to be the right one. And I think that's where grace in parenting, even our bad parenting, comes to the forefront. We are not always going to make the right decision. Not every decision we make is going to be the wrong one, but some of them are going to be wrong. Some of them are going to cause our children a little pain or discomfort. So my son had to have an achy wrist for 2 days because I wasn't sure it was broken. I used what my knowledge and prayer and just made the wrong call on that one. We're going to do that. We are going to let our kids do something that we wish we hadn't done. We're going to miss an opportunity that we wish we wouldn't have missed. We all are going to have those little moments of hindsight is 2020. Look back and go, oh yeah, missed the boat on that one. So what do we do with that information? I think we should do a couple of different things. One, we should forgive ourselves for the mistakes that we make. Two, we should learn from those mistakes. And next time, maybe when my kid comes and says he hears a crack and it really hurts, and maybe I'll take him to the doctor the next day, if there's not an obvious reason to take him right away. And three, we'll realize that we are doing the best that we can, and that we will make mistakes, and that's okay, because nobody's perfect, and our children are not expecting us to be perfect. They should not expect us to be perfect. Not that we're blasé about it. Oh, well, we made a mistake, blah, blah, blah. No, it means that we use the information that we have, we make the best decision possible, but we make a decision. We don't vacillate so much that we're worried about making the wrong decision. Sometimes we make a decision, and sometimes we are not sure if it's the right one. And that's okay. You kind of make it the best that you can, and you go on from there. Because in the reality, we have to give ourselves as much grace as we give our kids. Our kids make mistakes. What makes you think that we're going to be perfect parents? We're not. So when you have that hindsight and you go, yeah, I should have done X instead and I did Y, just go, okay, should have brought you to the doctor earlier, should have XYZ earlier or done differently. And sometimes, when we make the wrong decision, say we tell our kid they can't go somewhere, and we get more information, or sometimes we think about it some more and we realize, I think they can do that. It's okay to change our minds. We shouldn't do it all the time because that confuses kids. But it's okay to go and say, yeah, I thought about it and I think you can do this. Or I thought about it and I think you can't do this. That's okay too. Let's use the minds that God gave us to make the best decisions possible and give ourselves that grace to go, yeah, that wasn't a right decision. Sorry about that. We'll try to do better next time. Give yourself grace in your bad parenting moments, and we'll all sleep a little better. Join me next week on a video blog on Some Assembly Required. Thanks for joining me today.